6 questions for Andreas Klippe. That's me.
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast to the protection against heavy rain and flooding by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
So the big challenge is, how can house owners like you and me get a flood-free home? How can business managers like you and me get a flood-free company? And how can public servants provide flood-free critical infrastructure and livable cities?
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe. This podcast is for foresighted and proactive people who do not want to shovel the muddy water out of their room while standing in the midst of the disaster.
Therefore, those who design and plan, the architects and engineers, need to construct such buildings and cities, and that even when the entire environment is completely flooded. That is a challenge, and this podcast will give the answers.
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
This is a Christmas edition, so advanced Merry Christmas or Merry Christmas. Perhaps you watch this video a little bit later. So my team has chosen another 6 questions and let's go for it. It's Christmas time, I'm curious, and as I've said already, I did not know and I don't know the questions yet, so I have to look to my monitor right here and I'm very curious. So please, question number 1. If your company were to design a unique Christmas themed product or services, what would it be and how would it spread joy and cheers to both employees and customers? A unique Christmas themed product or services. Shall that be related to flood protection or not? I guess yes. So then I would come up with a service that that is a kind of advanced assessment early, perhaps in the middle of the year already, that before Christmas at least a flood barrier system could have been installed already, because sometimes the people run out of time, and quite often it depends where you live, but I have the feeling that quite often disasters happen just around Christmas time. It's strange. I think most probably it is not true, but it is like that. It's the same thing here in Germany. If you have a problem with your heating system, you can be sure it happens December 23 or 24, when all the service companies, all the companies are closed. And then you are alone with your disaster, unless you have a chimney. I'm lucky I have one. So that would be a service early in the year, Christmas preparedness flood barrier assessment, that everybody can have the solution ready before Christmas, and then at least the Christmas season is safe and everybody can enjoy it. Next question, please. Can you share a heartwarming Christmas memory from your childhood? Oh, there were many. It was always when I have a younger brother, 5 years younger, Thomas. Thomas, if you watch this one, that is about you. And when we were at home in the house of my parents in Berlin, deep in the south of Berlin, just before the Berlin Wall, so very provincial, but still in the big city. So we had a house and a garden. Sometimes it was snowing, then the garden was white. It's a Christmas day. So we celebrated Christmas at December 24. And in the afternoon, so people normally worked until 1 o'clock, 2 p.m., something like that. And then everybody decorated the Christmas room. In our case, we were not allowed, we as children, to go into the room and watch the Christmas tree. Decorated by my father and my mother. and my grandmother came along, so both grandmothers, and one was living with us at the same house, the second house just in front of us, and the other one came visiting us, and then it became 3 o'clock and 3:30, and then we were allowed to go inside, and then suddenly my father said, and it was so beautiful, this Christmas tree with all these handmade decoration. You know, I did that by my own, and my brother and my mother, so everybody made it by our own, so it had another value. And then my father suddenly had to excuse himself because he said, I think I have something urgent to do for our neighbor. So I think I was, 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, later 10 years old, and I knew already how it was going on, but my brother was still younger. And and then suddenly it knocked at the door. Boom, boom, boom. And something like that, perhaps you could hear that. And then my mother said, oh, perhaps that is Santa Claus. And then I was curious, nervous. My hands were getting to sweat, they became wet, and my mother went to the door and opened the door, and there was Santa Claus standing in front of the door with his red dress and this red hat and the white beard and a big brown sack on the shoulder, and asking, is that the house of Andreas and Thomas? And I was getting more nervous, and then I said, yes, please come in. And then Santa Claus came in and went into the room, and then I forgot that my father was not around. And then Santa Claus asked us children first whether we were doing good during the last day here, and whether we can present a poem, some lyrics, or sing a Christmas song. And that was always the hardest with the lyrics, but I was doing well, and my grandmother was excellent. She did very well from my mother's side, but it was up to us, the kids. And then we did that, and then we could get our Christmas gifts from the big brown bag from the shoulder of Santa Claus. And it was so exciting. And then Santa Claus went away and wished us well, and we wished him well. We never saw the reindeers, by the way, and we never saw Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. I don't know. I was even not interested to look for it. I was so busy with my gifts, and then I was unpacking it, and then I said, oh, it's a pity that our father could not participate. And after a while, he came back and he said, oh, did I miss Santa Claus? And I said, yes, you missed it again, like last year. Oh, really? How was it? I said, brilliant, look, all my gifts and everything. And then he said, oh, next year I will make it. And of course, when I was getting older, I knew Santa Claus was my father. But I didn't tell to my younger brother, because we didn't want to spoil him the Christmas season. And that is the secret at the end of the day. If you know a secret, then don't tell it to the others. It's like that keeps the mystery alive. And that was really one story from my childhood. Heartwarming, I find. I always think about that. That was really, really nice. Okay, next question. What's your favorite thing about Christmas? The favorite thing, that is normally the joy before, but when you get older you lose it a little bit. That is normally Christmas season for us here in the Western world and in other parts of the world. It starts beginning of end of November already with the first Advent. So that is when we light on the first candle for the Advent. So it must be 4, and sometimes the fourth Advent falls on December 24, but quite often it is just before. Then it starts with the cakes and the Christmas stollen. It smells well in the kitchen. The Christmas markets start in Nuremberg, Dresden, Frankfurt, Munich, Berlin, everywhere. In every village almost in Germany has a Christmas market, and that makes it special. And then preparing the Christmas decoration, preparing Christmas cards, gifts, and so on. That is, I think, the best of Christmas. It is not the Christmas day itself, because that will pass away very fast, but it is all the things before. And that is getting lost a little bit when you get older. It's a pity, but for the children, I'm quite sure it is the best. Next question, please. What Christmas gift do you treasure the most? What Christmas gift? Almost impossible to say. I remember one time that my father was giving me a big truck. That was a toy. Yeah? The size was a little bit like that. Can you see it? It's a little bit like that. But, okay, two levels to transport cars. So with a ramp at the backside, and you could move. That came with the cars, and that was a gift from his company. I remember the company always made a Christmas party, and there were, I think, 1,000 people coming, and before the parents could choose the gifts for the children. So it was A, B, C, D, E or something like that. And my father was deciding for this truck, and that was wonderful. That is what I remember. What is the most, what I treasure most? That is really difficult to say. What I treasure most was to spend the time with the whole family together. That is what I treasure most. Without mobile phone, without sending any post and answering to Facebook and so on. What have we done without all these things? Next question, please. What is your favorite holiday tradition and why? Oh, the tradition. What was it? The tradition was always learning the poems, to memorize the lyrics was quite a challenge for me. And then playing the Christmas songs when I started to play the guitar, so on classical guitar, and then we were all singing together. That was pretty good. At this time, my brother was not playing the guitar, and then later he played better than I did. But at this time he didn't play, so we never could play together. That was a pity. But this tradition I really liked, and that was really, really good tradition. What does Christmas mean to you, and how do you usually celebrate it? Yeah, Christmas is for me a family festivity, when the whole family comes together. Now the family is already reduced a little bit. My brother is living in another city, and we are not together. So at least with my wife I can be together, and that is one thing. Yes, my son, of course, and what and how do we? That is more really to be together and to celebrate it together and to calm down. I also like to go to church the first Christmas day. That is, I said already, Santa Claus is coming in Germany December 24 and then 25 in the morning. I liked sometimes to go to church. And what I liked most is to hear the Christmas story. So they told the story of Christmas, so the birth of Jesus. And we were all singing songs together. And all these songs everybody knows, and that makes it easy to sing with everybody. And that is a kind of joy, and that makes me very happy. Yeah, so was it the last question? So then I wish you a Merry Christmas and all the best, good health, and no flooding, of course. And celebrate Christmas. If you celebrate it, for all those who don't celebrate it, then think about us at least. But I know also some Muslim friends who celebrate it not in the Christian tradition, but in their way, and they give some joy to the children. So everybody has another tradition, and I do it my way, and I hope you do it your way. Merry Christmas.
I wish and hope for you that you make the right decisions when it comes to your personal flood protection. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to this podcast channel if you haven't already. Now it only remains for me to wish you a good day. Do something with it. Maybe until the next podcast episode. I would be very happy. See you then. As always, stay safe and flood free. Your Andreas Klippe and the whole Flood Experts team.
That's it again with the new episode of Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe, German engineer, book author, and head of the Flood Experts. What can Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe protect for you? Anytime? Worldwide? Contact us or just click through to www.thefloodexperts.de/bonus. Detailed engineering. German quality. Safe. Flood protection secrets. The secrets you'll want to unfold.
Don't forget, you're only one flood barrier away.
Subscribe to the season, and you'll never be late for an episode.